Deep in the heart of the jungle, where the sun painted golden patterns on the forest floor, lived a mighty lion named Zoran. He was feared by all creatures, for his roar shook the trees and his strength was unmatched. Every animal in the jungle knew to bow before him or risk his fury. One day, a tiny mouse named Milo scurried through the grass, his whiskers twitching with excitement. Unlike the other animals, Milo did not fear the lion. He believed that courage was not measured by size, but by the strength of one's heart. As Milo gathered seeds near the great lion's den, he overheard Zoran boasting to his subjects. "Zoran, I am the king of this jungle. No one dares to stand against me. My roar alone is enough to send fear into the hearts of the bravest warriors." The other animals nodded in agreement, too afraid to challenge the lion's words. But Milo, being small yet bold, stepped forward and spoke in his tiny but clear voice. "Milo, mighty Zoran, you may be strong, but true strength is not just about power. It is about wisdom, kindness, and knowing when not to fight." The jungle fell silent. Gasps filled the air as the animals turned to see the little mouse standing before the great lion. Zoran's golden eyes narrowed, and he let out a deep chuckle that rumbled through the trees. "Zoran, and what would a tiny creature like you know about strength? You are but a mere snack for me." The animals trembled, fearing that Milo had sealed his fate. But Milo stood firm and smiled. "Milo, I challenge you, great Zoran. If I can prove that I have strength equal to yours, then you must promise to rule the jungle with fairness and not with fear." The lion was amused. He had never been challenged by anyone, let alone a mouse. His pride would not allow him to refuse such a bold request. "Zoran, very well, little one. Choose the challenge, and I shall prove you wrong." Milo thought for a moment, then looked up at the towering lion. "Milo, let's see who can escape from a trap faster. If I win, you must promise to listen to the voices of all creatures, big and small." The lion laughed again, his powerful roar echoing through the jungle. "Zoran, very well. But if you lose, you shall be my dinner." The challenge was set. The jungle creatures gathered to watch the contest unfold. The wise old tortoise, the most neutral of all animals, was chosen to set the trap. He built 2 cages, one large and strong enough for the lion, and another tiny one just the right size for Milo. Once they stepped inside, the doors were locked tight. The moment the contest began, Zoran roared and clawed at the iron bars. He pushed with all his might, his muscles flexing as he tried to break free. The jungle shook with his effort, but the bars held firm. Meanwhile, Milo, small and nimble, squeezed through a tiny gap in his cage and was free within seconds. He scampered onto a rock and watched as the mighty lion struggled against his prison. Time passed, and Zoran grew frustrated. His strength was great, but it was useless against the carefully built cage. The jungle creatures watched in awe, realizing the lesson unfolding before them. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, Zoran slumped to the ground, exhausted. He looked at Milo, who sat patiently, waiting for him to understand. "Zoran, you have won. But how? You are so small." Milo smiled kindly. "Milo, strength is not just about power, great Zoran. It is about wisdom, patience, and knowing how to use what you have. You relied only on brute force, but I used my wits. That is why I won." The jungle fell silent. Then, slowly, the animals began to nod in agreement. The great lion, humbled by the tiny mouse, let out a deep sigh and bowed his head. "Zoran, you have taught me a great lesson today, little one. I have ruled with might, but I see now that true strength lies in understanding and fairness. I shall honor my promise. From this day forth, I will listen to all creatures, great and small." A cheer erupted through the jungle. The animals, once living in fear, now saw hope in their king. And so, from that day forward, Zoran ruled not with fear, but with wisdom. And Milo, the brave little mouse, became his most trusted advisor. And so, the tiny mouse who dared to challenge the mighty lion proved that courage and wisdom can outshine even the greatest strength. And in the heart of the jungle, a new era of fairness and harmony began.